Kamen no Ninja Hanamaru. Now, there's plenty of ninja games on the Famicom. I mean, you've got this, you've got Wrath of the Black Manta, of course, Ninja Gaiden, Ninja Turtles. This music sounds oddly familiar, though. This is this map screen. I'm getting deja vu here. And this level is also very familiar. I'm sure many people know this because it's all over the internet, but in case you're one of the few who didn't, this might come to a revelation for you. But Kamen no Ninja Hanamaru, or Masked Ninja Hanamaru, was localized in the United States as Yonoid. Now, these games look and play almost exactly the same. Sure, the sprites are different and the backgrounds are different, and the music is rearranged differently, but sounds similar for the most part. But otherwise, they're the same game, except instead of a yo-yo, you've got this hawk, which explains why the yo-yo never had a string attached to it. One of the little things I like is when Hanamaru jumps, the hawk flaps his wing. Little touches like that you know I just love. But this is what makes this a hard game to talk about. If you played Yonoid, you played Masked Ninja Hanamaru. And really, that's it. They are the same game. The little things are different, though. The scrolls look differently, but have the same effects. And things like the pizza eating contest is now a duel with a rival ninja. Sometimes they'll have their own animal, like the one at the end of the first stage has a frog instead of a hawk. And one of the later stages is like a huge guy made out of rocks. But you might get taken aback when you get to your first boss battle, and you're on the right side of the screen instead of the left. I mean, this makes sense from a Japanese perspective, since they tend to read from right to left. But playing the game, it kind of makes it weird, because you spend your time going from the left side of the screen to the right, and then you're reversed when you get to the boss. Kind of weirded me out the first time, but it's all good. Now, Yonoid is known for being this wacky game. I mean, it's the Noid, he's trying to, save the city and earn pizzas instead of destroying pizzas, and it makes no sense, and it's totally wacky, and Hanamaru is no different. In a way, Hanamaru is wackier. I mean, some of these levels don't even really make sense. Like, the skateboard level is here, and it's almost exactly like it is, but the Noid in Central Park skateboarding makes a lot of sense within the context of the game. Here, it's a ninja in this fantasy world, and now he's on a skateboard. And other things also. I mean, if you look at the map screen, one of the levels looks like a space shuttle. I haven't made it that far into the game, so I'm not sure what that's all about. Or how about the famous Pizza Crusher level from Yonoid, where you're going across the tops of all the skyscrapers in New York? How did that get changed from Hanamaru? You're in a world that's made out of Legos. Yeah, Legos. And you have a pogo stick. And it's pretty much the same thing, but the ground is made out of Legos. Why is the ninja in a world filled with Legos? One thing I will say about this game, though, it has one heck of a soundtrack. In fact, it's kind of reminiscent of a lot of Sunsoft games. You know, something like Fester's Quest, where the game's hard as nails, and that might have thrown you off as a kid, but going back and playing it as an adult, you can see it's actually a pretty good game, and it has a killer soundtrack. This is produced by Capcom and not Sunsoft. Of course, Capcom's no slouch there either. I mean, it did do Mega Man after all. Hidden items for boss battles are in the exact same places in this game as they are in Yonoid, and even things like the warp in level 2 is in the exact same place. Though, they did change that one up a little. Instead of hockey players, you're fighting some penguins and a walrus. Really glad they didn't put a seal in there. I just feel like clubbing a seal in a bonus game would be in very bad taste. And as you can see, the boss battle, your life bars are the same as what they are in Yonoid, but in Yonoid you were trying to fill them up, and here you're taking them away. So in Yonoid the game was easier because you started with a smaller health bar that you had to fill up. And this one, your first opponent has a smaller one that you have to go through to kill him off. Which game's better? Well, again, they're the exact same game, they're the same difficulty. I find getting extra continues in Hanamaru to be a little bit easier, but I think that's just me. Maybe that's because I've been playing it more lately to get ready for this review. But overall, they're the same game. Personally, I kind of like Yonoid a little bit better if I had to pick one. I like the cityscape in it, I like the aesthetic of it, and they're both quirky and weird, but at least Yonoid seems to have a theme going with it, whereas Masked Ninja Hanamaru is just kind of absolute madness and random in its execution. This is definitely a case of you couldn't go wrong with either game, but if you're going to pick it up, Yonoid is going to be easier for you to find. Though with the internet, finding a copy of Masked Ninja Hanamaru is not going to be too difficult either, and last time I checked, neither game was actually too expensive. I don't know what it is, but I always hated the ice level in Yonoid, and I hate it just as much here because it's the same thing. But at the end of the day, Kamen no Ninja Hanamaru is a fun game just like Yonoid, so pick up one of the two versions of it and give it a go.